Hey guys, Richard here with e-bike reviews and adventures, and today we're taking a look at this Haoqi bike known as the Green Leopard. Now, big shout out to Haoqi Bike for sending this to me for a test and review. And I will tell you, over the last 7 or 8 days or so, we've been riding it, to getting familiar with it, running it through its paces, and now it's time to talk about it. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the name, Haoqi. A lot of people mispronounce that and they call it Haoqi, but that would be incorrect. So we reached out to the manufacturer and they assured us Haoqi was the correct pronunciation for this bike. Now, that's interesting because in the Chinese language, Haoqi has a meaning, and it refers to affordability, good quality, and so it kind of goes along with the theme of what they're trying to promote here. They're trying to build a good quality bike that is affordable for people. And I think they hit the mark on that, because this is cheaper than a lot of bikes in this category that offers similar amenities. So it is cheaper, but it's still a good quality bike. So far, we haven't had any issues out of it with the riding and testing that we have done. So to take us further, let's just go ahead and we're going to talk about some of those amenities, and then I'm going to show you some clips from where we had this bike out on the path, out on the roads, and a little off trail. Okay, we're going to start with just doing a little bit of a walk around right here, and I will tell you that Haoqi Bike makes a couple different variations of the Leopard. Okay, they do have a white Leopard. They came out with this Green Leopard, and they're got some similar functionality to them. Maybe some little bit of differences here, but I tell you what I like about this bike is how it looks. I like that color green. I mean, just check that out. Look at that color on those rims. I like it when a manufacturer comes out with a bike and they do something different to make it stand out. And they certainly have made this bike stand out from the rest. Okay, we're going to start right here in the front, and we're just going to go ahead and talk about some things going on up here. We do have the Chaoyang tires, which we have had some really good luck with those. Haven't had any problems out of the Chaoyang tires on our other bikes, so I'm happy to see that. They do have hydraulic forks. Now this is the Haoqi brand hydraulic forks, but it does have the preload and the lockout right here, which is nice. And over here on the other side, we do have hydraulic brakes. Spin that around. So we do have some no brand name hydraulic brakes, but I can tell you they work fine. I haven't had any issues with those yet. Moving back over here, let's take another look at the wheel, because this is a nice little feature they added right here. This wheel has a quick disconnect, so you can quickly take that wheel off to change the tire if you do have a flat. And a lot of bikes in this category, they don't offer that. So that's one thing that Haoqi Bike did to make this bike stand out a little bit. They gave you that nice feature. We do have plastic fenders front and on the rear, and I do prefer plastic because I'm here in Florida where there's a lot of salt, and I don't want to be messing with metal, so those are working out just fine. We do have an LED headlight up here at the front. And while we're up here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this wiring here. Now, they do have the wiring wrapped a little bit here. You can see some wrapping there to kind of hold it together a little bit. But, it is still a little loosey-goosey. And it'd be nice if they had been wrapped a little tighter, a little cleaner. That wiring does go inside the frame right here, but it pops back out again right down here. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the handlebar and the cockpit area here. We do have an adjustable handlebar stem right here, so you can rotate that, which is a nice little feature there. Over here on the left side, we do have some pretty standard grips here, nothing too special about those at all. We got the zoom brakes right up there. We do have a manual bell, and there's our button pad that controls our LCD display, and we'll go ahead and turn that on. There it is. It powers up really quick. And this is a pretty basic LCD display, nothing too fancy here, but it does the job. It's got a nice battery readout here up on top, so you can see what your battery status is. And then, of course, it tells you your speed, your pass setting, how much watts you're getting out of it here, and what the mileage is. And you can see we've put 23 miles on the bike over the last few days. Moving over here to the right side, we do have the Shimano 7-speed thumb, and we do have the half-twist throttle, which I'm a big fan of half-twist throttles. Moving down the bike, now this bike is I would consider this a mid-step bike because you do have that top bar here, so it's not a high step, but it's a mid-step. So, it's not too bad. I don't care for high steps at all, but this mid-step is just fine for me. I'm really tall, so I don't have any issues with it. Going up here to the seat, now this is another feature where they did a really nice job with this seat. It does have the quick disconnect right here, which is always good to have. So you can have quick adjustment on the seat for multiple different riders. But one of the things they did different is this seat is, it's fairly standard, but I do think it might be a little softer than some of the other standard seats that I have had. But this comes with a suspension seat post. This is the Pro Max suspension seat post, and that adds a lot of comfort to the ride. I tell you, I had this out for a couple hours off trail, and when I was finished, I wasn't sore on my backside like I normally would be. So they did a really good job by adding that suspension seat post, because that's something I would normally do to all my bikes anyway, but I didn't have to with this one because it just works very well. Right here we do have a Samsung 20 amp hour battery that's installed on the outside of the bike. It's attached to the top tube here, and it does have a battery indicator right here. You do have a charging port with a USB port right there. Now moving on to the back, we do have a chain ring right here that is only single-sided, but I haven't had any issues with it yet, so I think that's fine right there. And then you move back here and we do have the tourney derailleurs, and you can see they're pretty dirty because I've been riding this a lot off-road, but no issues there. 7-speed works well. Let's talk about that for a minute, because I didn't look up the info on the gears, but with this bike, when I have it in pedal assist 5, I don't get any ghost pedaling. When I'm pedaling and I'm getting close to that 27, 28 miles per hour, I don't have any ghost pedaling like I normally do on some of my other bikes. So I'm really happy with the gears that they have put on this, because it allows you to really feel that pedal even though you're going at high speeds. Moving on around to the back here, we do have an integrated brake light, which is nice. It works fine. We do have a luggage rack that can hold up to 55 pounds, and that's more than enough for most people's needs. The hub motor back here is a 750 watt. It's a no brand hub motor, but it's 750 watt and it's 80 Newton meters. So it's got pretty good power. And I haven't had any issues with it going up some small hills, and certainly getting the speed out of it. Overall, in my testing, I've been real happy with how this bike has performed, and it's something I'd recommend you take a look at, because it saves you a few $100s on other bikes in this category. The company does say it ships as a class 2, but it does go 28 miles an hour, okay, right out of the box. I didn't have any issues with that, so just be aware of that. And one more thing about the LCD display up here, just be aware that you cannot adjust the pedal assist settings, okay? You can't make any adjustments to the power settings, or at least I haven't been able to find that. It's pretty basic on the inside there, and what you can adjust and change. But the way they have it geared and what they have it set to, I don't have any complaints at all, again, of the speed and performance of this bike. So that's about all I can say about this bike here. So let's go ahead and show you some clips and show you some of the things I've been doing this past week.